Now, yes. Okay, cool. So back to Blender and back to Discord, and let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can turn on my camera and have it show up in two places, both in OBS and Discord. It may not work. I may have to do the virtual camera, but I don't think I can get that to work in here. Yeah, that's not going to work. How do I turn this on? I don't want to show my camera. Confirm. Okay, there we go. Turn off camera. Okay, so whatever. I'm gonna show this to the video people that are watching the streaming video. There we go. One of the things I started to do when I was finding my way in this space was I did a read aloud. I used to do this to with my students. And this is like my favorite book. It's called The Girl Who Fell Beneath Fairyland and Led the Revels There. So Catherine M. Valente has like, oh my gosh, I think there's like 4 or 5 books in the series called the Fairyland series. And the first one is The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making. That was the first one. This is the second one, and by far my favorite in the series. And this is like my favorite quote. This section that I'm going to read is my favorite quote from this my favorite book. So as you may have guessed, the title of the book, including Fairyland, there are lots of magical creatures, and it's sort of like a Victorian Gothic style of writing, kind of like Alice in Wonderland, but very modernized. Okay, so there is the main character. Her name is September, and she gets whisked away to Fairyland in the first book. And there is a reason that she has to return to Fairyland. I won't say what it is because that'll like spoil the first book and part of the second book. So anyway, she's back in Fairyland, and she's encountering lots of different characters, as one does in the hero's journey type of story. So September, main character. And there's a goblin, also a dodo in this particular section. So Glasswort Groof is the goblin, and we're just meeting the dodo. Okay, and the dodo's name
Dodo.
is Aubergine. Aubergine's a night dodo, Groof said quickly. Nothing like them for hiding and sneaking about. She's too old to fob off on a troll who doesn't know better. And I've got 2 others to feed besides. The night dodo's feathers shone a piercing shade of purple, with dark emerald underdown, and a shadowy fall of black tail feathers like a dark fountain. Her legs looked strong, gray as old stone. Goblins always hold back the best trick for last, said L. A through L is a wyverary, and there's a picture on the front of the book. A wyverary it's like a dragon, but they don't have hands, so they don't have front claws. Their wings are their front, or their like their arms and hands. So they have hind quarters, they have hind legs, and they have wings, but no, they're not 4-legged like you see most dragons. So A through L is a wyverary whose mother was a library. So his name is A through L.
That's hilarious.
I know. It's just, there are so many layers, and I have to like come back and parenthetically explain all these things. And it's like, oh, L is in this excerpt too. So L. Goblins always hold back the best tricks for last, said L. So L knows a lot of things, but only limited through the letters A through L. So G is between A and L. So L, the Wyverary, whose mother is a library, knows all about goblins. So anytime L can offer some helpful information, he does. So, I'm not a trick, said Aubergine. Oh, sorry. I'm totally getting into the wrong character voice. I'm not a trick, said Aubergine softly. Her voice thrummed deep and echoey. You take your wares and you take your chances, Groof shrugged. I didn't rhyme once when I offered her, if that's worth a thing. Why should I cheat? I have a good sterling hour in my sack. My market's starting to perk up already. The wood of the stall smoothed and polished itself, looking as proud as wood can look. Oh, Elle, she's just a poor thing, said September, and held out her hand to the bird. September had no natural defense against lost things, being one herself. She could not quite have put into words, but she felt profoundly, at the bottom of her new, shining heart, that she could find lost things. She could make them unlost if she were brave enough. After all, if enough lost things band together, even in the darkest depths, they aren't really lost at all anymore. Even for nothing, I'd take her along as far as the capital, September said finally. And the night dodo, ever so lightly and briefly, pressed her beak into her palm. So that's the excerpt. Oh my god, I almost got teary. My eyes are a little misty. It's just such a lovely story. And the goblin is she's like trying to barter with September and make her a deal. So what September gets is the dodo. In exchange, she has to give the goblin, Glasswork Roof, she has to give the goblin an hour of her life. And the goblin gets to choose. Like some
Rumpelstiltskin type shit.
Yeah. So the goblin gets to choose the when and the where of the time from September she's going to take.
Son of a bitch. Knew there was a catch.
Yeah, well, you know, there's got to be drama. That's what moves the story forward. So anyway, it's like she went into this bargain for one thing, and then like by the end of it, she totally forgets about the whole reason why she needs to barter this hour. And I forget what it is. Like she goes there for this one thing, and she's like, well, I don't really have anything to give, you know, for this one thing. And the goblin's like, well, if you take this dodo off my hands, and I'll take an hour of your life. You've always got something to give, right? So the dodo is just sort of like an afterthought, but September is such a beautiful character, right? And has so many important lessons to learn in just the hardest way possible. And it always comes at a cost. That's what I love about this story. It's like, you don't have superheroes with infinite power that, you know, just have a big battle and then learn something from it. It's like she loses things of value.
You live and you learn.
Yeah. So even this bargain, she like has to. Well, she loses the most important moment in her life to the goblin. So like she begins into this important segment of the story, and then we fast forward an hour, like she doesn't even know it happened because it's lost from her. And then the narrator goes back and says, this is what September would have experienced, you know. So all that being aside, the author talks about children being heartless, and there's a line in here. She could not quite have put into words, but she felt profoundly at the bottom of her new, shining heart that she could find lost things. I don't know. This is just kind of like part of the reason why I became a teacher, is being one of those lost things myself, and then going into a school or coming to a space and helping teach people, just being attracted to, I mean this in the most loving way possible, just a group of misfits. And finding community with you guys, and just sort of like working on things together and not being lost anymore. It's like, it's that line, after all, if enough lost things band together, even in the darkest depths, they aren't really lost at all anymore. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys.
AJ, check out this book that I have. I think you'll like it.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before. Yes, that is a classic. That's probably a reprint. There's
Brian Froud and Alan Lee.
Yeah, yes. Man, I would thumb through that book. My mom had a friend, Alma and John Weaver, and we'd go over to their house, and they had this book, and they had the Gnomes book. There's an Ent in there that's just absolutely mesmerizing.
Yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of reference for different like classifications of like fairies and
yes, there's
fairy type beings.
Yep.
I have another one. The one I was looking for when I grabbed this one was the dragon one, and it has like it really cool references for all the different types of dragons you were just talking about.
Oh yeah. Is Wyverary in there?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay, can you pull that up? I'm actually going to pop this out and put it in stream if you don't mind.
I can't find it. I was using the book for reference.
You're on stream, by the way, just so you know.
No worries. I was using the reference not too long ago, so I had it out, and I must have not put it back. It might be at the tattoo shop.
Oh dear.
I can't seem to find it right now, but if I do find it,
okay,
I'll make sure to find the page and take some shots for you.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll go back to Blender. All right, so story time's over. When you get to work, this is the A-frame treehouse for the ABC Clubhouse. You can tell. I don't know if you were, Josh. You were there. Cheddar, were you at the ABC tour?
I was not.
Yeah, I thought you might have been working.
Looks like you rotated the stairs. Everything else looks the same, aside from the trees.
Yeah, so this is where the stairs originally were, and I saved this out as a separate asset. And I also let's see, let's move this. It used to be like this too. Because that's where the opening was. It was from, the ladder over to the right, and there was a hole in the floor. So if I select this, the collider that's here is the new collider. So I gave this the treehouse, the A-frame asset to CK, and they took the ladder from here and then they moved it in front. And then you'd like walk up the ladder, go on the platform, walk in, and you'd immediately fall through the floor. So I fixed the hole in the floor, and then I thought, okay, well, I could also fix the ladder, and I just didn't move it to where the new location where CK put it. But yeah, that's like that's just the iterative process. Let's see, what else can I point out that's of import. So here, does anybody know what this thing is? You know what this is?
That is a empty something. I forget what
it's
it's
just
called.
an empty, yeah. In Softimage and in other packages that I've used, they're called nulls, N-U-L-L, but empty is another word for it. It's basically, a three-dimensional representation of a point in space, and you can do things like if you do any emotes and you look at the rig on it, you'll see all these shapes and stuff like that, and they're just there for visual reference and for selectability. And 20 years ago, oh my gosh, almost 20 years ago, back when I was doing 3D animation and stuff, and we'd have character animation, we would make our rig controls with nulls, and we created this thing called an encapsulated null hierarchy that, excuse me, is very similar to what Decentraland has released for people to make emotes. So super helpful tool, and I'm so glad that they have that. And Isa is like just so knowledgeable and helpful, people like that. But anyway, this is a null or an empty, and Cheddar Queso, I will ask you: do you know what these dotted lines represent?
Uh-huh. Is that like your field of view, or what?
I like your thinking. However,
I have no idea.
no, I don't have any cameras in here. If you look over here in my content management hierarchy here, the scene collections, there are no cameras. So these are, actually, see this right here? Can you see this? I don't know if it's big enough. It says A-frame parent. So this empty is the parent to all these other objects. So if I hit G and I grab it, it controls
What?
all these other things. So
Okay.
it's really helpful to have parent-child relationships because, and it didn't actually end up working, but this location where the parent is at the 0,0 point in the builder. So CK will take assets, GLBs, whatever, and they will construct using Builder because, you know, it's the readily available tool. You can do it through a browser window, but there's all kinds of other problematic things that that happen when you use Builder. And Josh knows what I'm talking about, I think. But I put this empty here because I wanted CK to be able to just drop an asset in to Builder and have it be in the right location. However, this 0, 0 coordinate is not, it doesn't work. I guess Builder doesn't like empties, right? It has to be a geometric object because where it put this, and if you see there's this dotted line that goes here, one of these objects has an origin down here, and I don't remember which one it is. It might be the floor, might be this, fuck, I don't remember which one it is. Oh, that might be it. Nope. Yeah, you can see the origin is there, the object origin. That one's up top. This one, those are the caps. Well, what the hell? Why is there...
It showed up when you clicked like the outside panel of the roof.
The glass? Oh, you're right. Good going. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, this is the one. I did this because my I guess the modifiers are applied. Oh, that's the collider. Okay, I did that because I positioned it on one side, and then I used the mirror modifier, and I reset all transforms, and it put it here at the global origin. So, whatever. I guess it chose this center. Whatever. It just, when CK dropped it into the builder, it ended up, well, here, let's just go into the fucking builder and look at it. Let's
fucking do it.
Let's FAFO. Oh, also, I want to show you guys, I want to tell you guys about, if you don't already know about Showtime, it's a way to easily mint popes and to collect them. So that's one of the reasons.
I love Showtime.
What's that?
I love Showtime. There's like
Am I following you?
folks on there that do AI art.
Yeah.
And they put out some really cool like JPEGs, and I'm kind of addicted.
You're at DCL on Showtime? You cheeky monkey?
Yeah.
That's a really good snag. Oh yeah,
Nice.
But
look at
yeah,
all
look at
these.
all those dope pictures. I don't know why. I'm just addicted to them. Like I come from the era where like we were addicted to posters. Like my room was like
Oh
covered
yeah.
in posters, movie posters, band posters, right? Like artists and stuff like that. And so I just kind of imagine like any virtual space that I have to be just like my
Mm.
bedroom was back in the
Mm-hmm.
day and just be covered in like dope art. I especially like the astronauts. You'll see a lot of like
Yeah.
spacemen
Mm-hmm.
and like trippy kind of stuff. Like I don't know if you remember the blacklight posters back in
Yes.
the 90s, right?
Dude,
And so
dude,
those are
hold on,
really
hold on. Blacklight
popular.
posters came out when I was a kid, a teenager. Those first came out in like the 60s and the 70s. So yes, they
Are you
had them
talking
in the
about like
90s, but
Okay.
that was a revival.
the black
Everything is,
velvety
yeah.
one?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember
Oh,
there was a store called Spencer's,
And
and
the
there was a
lava
Ronnie James
lamps.
Dio blacklight poster that I really wanted to get when I was a kid. Anyway, sorry, Cheddar, I totally interrupted you. Go ahead.
you're a
Yeah,
holy
no,
diver?
but it's that kind of vibe.
Ah, this is great. This one, the ice cream ninja. Oh my god.
Well, these are all like proof of attendance type tokens.
Yes.
Well, they're just like one of 200, one of 500, like
Right.
little
That's
NFT
sick.
AI. Most they're all AI art, but I don't know why. I just like them. Look
Here's
at
a
the little
doodle.
dude, the little crazy
So
doodle.
yesterday on the Metaverse 3, we did a random event. Were you there, Josh?
Yeah, I got my first one yesterday.
Oh, I have video of that. That was so cool.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, look, there's another astronaut. It's a Mario.
Mario, Spaceman. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. That would definitely be a poster in my room.
Fucking
Charmander.
Charmander.
Yeah, these are really cool. Oh, Molly Crabapple just posted a thing where trying to encourage publishers to not use AI art, to not publish AI art, which I think is her heart's in the right place, but I
Mm.
think it's just very misplaced.
It's
Anyway,
just a kind of not gonna happen.
oh yeah, I mean, you
Right.
can have all the publishers, the if there's a media industry that's any older than book publishers, I just don't know what is. That's like the
Yeah.
OG media conglomerates. And of course, she could totally get everybody there to agree to that, but it's like somebody pleading with the vinyl companies to whatever. It's not going to make a difference. It's just not. So anyway, I just wanted to. You guys both know about this, so yeah, whatever. Okay. I totally forgot.
I kind of want to hear more about this pipeline concept that you
Yeah.
were talking about at the
Yeah.
very
Okay.
beginning.
Okay. Let me go back here. Oh, I was gonna go to. Sorry, I was gonna go to Builder. Thank you. DataCentral.org activity. Sign in. Connect.
There's not enough coffee in the world.
Okay, well here's something. There's a book that I bought a long time ago, and I don't have it anymore because I don't do this kind of work anymore. But I think it was like we were. I was trying to get a production from storyboard to pilot, right? And we just kept running up against technical challenges, and people would get the wrong version of a scene and animate their character to that, and it would be the wrong rig, and it would need to be updated, and like there was maybe some rigs or whatever in there that were deprecated and couldn't be used in the new scene. So like an entire day's worth of animation had to be just shit canned. So let me see if I can find in direct answer to your query, Josh.
What'd you call me?
Josh.
I'm just kidding.
I think it was called Content Management System for Game Development, but I'm not sure. I'll know it as soon as I see the cover. Just give me my fucking images, Jesus. Okay, we'll try Bing too. Let's see who gets it faster. I guess I should put in book.
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 It reminds me, every time I hear someone say book, it reminds me of a damn, what is that show called?
I don't know.
Hunter. There's an anime called Hunter x Hunter, and there's like a virtual world like game that they go into in part of the series. And to like call their inventory, their book, they just say book. But in Japanese and in English, it just both says book. It's funny.
Cool. That's the you know the joke. A chicken walks into a library, goes up to the front desk, and says book. And the librarian is like, "What the fuck?" And then the chicken says again, book. And the librarian like calls his friend over and is like, "Hey, dude, check this out." So the chicken says again, book. And the librarian's coworker's like, "Oh, dude, she wants a book." So they get a book and give it to the chicken. The chicken puts it under her wing and walks out. Next day, chicken comes back, puts the book on, they gave her yesterday, puts it on the counter and says, book. So they give her another book, and this happens for like a week, right? And by then they're like totally expecting the chicken to come in, and this time, a week later, the chicken comes in with a frog. And the chicken says, book, just like normal. And so one of the librarians grabs a book, gives it to the chicken. Then the chicken takes the book, shows it to the frog, and the frog says, read it.
I don't get it.
Yes. Let me explain it to you because that'll make the joke
I
even
was like,
funnier.
what the fuck I think I've been giving the chicken to read? It comes back with a frog.
I can't find it. It's by like this same publisher though. This one right here. I recognize the color. Isn't that crazy? Oh, it's the second edition. Maybe this is like the newer version. Anyway, so yeah, it's just in a resource like this, there will be products, applications, software that will that you just haven't heard about, right? Only if you've been working in the industry. And if you look back here, do you see these post-it notes on here? Let's see if we can get a closer look at that. Oh, it's even newer. Oh shit. Well, I wanted to see the image. But it's like when you let me just open up the image. Open image, new tab. Here we go.
It's like a graph of some sort.
Well, it's just like stages of development, right? So when you're done with a certain component, you take it and you move it over on the board.
Okay.
It's like
Ooh.
it's like a progress chart. So yeah. Anyway, just one of the tools that you can use. Okay, something else that you may have seen but not know what it is. It's called a Gantt chart. And this is for resource allocation. And this is actually something that I used. I first saw a Gantt chart when I worked in construction. I was just a grunt general laborer, and I'm like, what is that? And when you've got a limited amount of resources, and time being the most limited, right?
Right.
And you have to get something done by a specific amount of time, using a Gantt chart is really helpful. So the like the first time I used something like this, it was on paper, but now they have electronic versions, and it's really super helpful. First Gantt chart was devised in the mid 1890s. Polish engineer who ran steelworks in Poland and become interested in management ideas and techniques. So yeah, here's a really good description of it. So it's got milestones. Lines and arrows show how tasks are linked to dependencies, right? You can't do a specific task if you don't have the resources, and the resources are determined by dependencies. So if we're going to be working on something and we need 10 animators to do it, I could say, okay, cool. Well, we've got 20 animators, so we should be able to do that. But what I need to check is the dependency and show that 11 of my animators are working on other projects, other tasks, right?
Uh-huh.
So here, today's date, task labels, groups or people responsible for the task, resources, so on and so forth. There are open source versions of Gantt chart creations. Oh, that's really cool. It's like I've never seen Gantt.com, but yeah. So there's like courses on just how best to use it. So if you're a project manager, you're more than likely going to need something like this, because especially with like a CVS, concurrent versioning system, it's really helpful to have some sort of visualization like this. So sorry.
I need to build a habit of using something like this just for managing my own personal projects.
Yeah, no, I think just it's a really good
tabs.
idea, because like for me, I'm trying to write articles, and I'm making wearables and emotes, and I'm doing FAFO, and I also want to spend time in the DAO, and I want to research soulbound tokens and that sort of thing. So, it's a really good idea, Josh. I mean, maybe if I created a Gantt chart for all those things, I'd be more productive.
Right.
Yeah, just more efficient, because I feel like
In your
like
brain.
I'm the same way, and like I'll get just sprung on one thing and I'll just dive into it, and other things without noticing will just kind of start to fall by the wayside, and I have to remind myself all right, chill out on that,
Right.
switch gears, work on this for a little bit, instead of just going hard and burning out on one thing, and then it's like, oh, I still have all these other things I got to do. If I would have had a chart telling me in front of my face, don't forget, you got to do this too, maybe it'll help.
That's why I like FAFO, because it's like at this day, at this time, we're gonna be working on this. That's it. That's what we're gonna be learning about. This stuff.
Yeah, it seems structure, organization is
Right.
very
It's slow.
efficiency.
I'm impatient. But if you just keep chugging away before you know it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it creates a process strategy
Mm-hmm.
that you can stick to like a little bit better is definitely more efficient than getting lost in the wind on one thing until you remember you have to do something else.
Yeah, and that's definitely a strategy, and you can certainly get things done that way. No,
For sure.
I wanna come back and read this. This Stephanie O'Malley Deming, Stephanie O. Um, Decades in the industry. So yeah, everybody's got a management system, a content management system that has a team of people working on something. Um, Especially something like a feature film, a pilot for a television program, a game that's going through development, just because you've got so many things that need to be kept track of. And a Gantt is one way to keep track of it. And what I'm not finding is a resource that will name different kinds of CMS software. Content management for game dev.
You mean for like choosing which one you would want to use?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, here it is. I mean, it was just right there. Trello, Xlock, and Placky. So Trello is something that Madamus told me about. And
yeah, you're right. I remember going into Trello because Madamus told me about it, but I haven't really used it too much.
Yeah, so maybe that's something that we can check out.
Yeah.
So we don't need to get into it now. We certainly can if you guys want to dive deeper and just like check out something like Trello. I would say what would be more productive is if I tasked everybody here with go look for a CMS and do a little research before next Friday and then come back and report on it. I think that's what's called jigsawing, right? So I give everybody a similar task, but a different piece of that similar task. You all go out and you learn something and then you report back to the group, rather than all of us learning linearly together. We can cover just a limited amount of ground here together, and I think it would be
Right.
more productive if we go out and then come back and report in. So anyway,
town hall's
Right.
tomorrow.
Pardon?
We're doing that's tomorrow, the town hall meeting thing.
Town hall is tomorrow. You are correct, and that's just to talk about cleanup of the Discord server, to update people on the progress that we've made since our last town hall, which is I think 3-4 months ago.
Maybe we can get multiple suggestions for something similar to Tutlo, and from people who show up.
Yeah, okay. Will you do me a favor?
Sure.
And just put that in town hall chat as something to.
Guys, I might not be able to be at town hall because I have to work tomorrow, depending on what time everybody decides. But I'll be here in spirit.
Okay. And
just let me know
Chad,
what needs to be done. Yes.
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, I can catch up. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
What does CVS stand for?
Concurrent versioning system. Or concurrent version system. So probably the most famous CVS is Git. Or whatever, I guess it's just like a difference between Git and CVS. Okay.
How concurrent? Okay, so I'm just kind of jotting it down like notes.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, so this is how old I am. CVS is old. Centralized version control system. While Git is distributed. There you go. So Git is, I guess, the new decentralized version of a CVS. Git is a CVS, but the main signifier is that it's decentralized. And here's a version control comparison. So Git is what is used for DCL because they use GitHub. Yeah, Git was created by Linus Torvalds in 2005. Because if you're going to have an open source project like Linux or Linux, you're going to need a way to track the different versions. And it's funny, the reason why he called it Git, people kept bugging him to make a tool that would be an open source CVS, and they kept asking him if it was done. He's like, "Here it is, now Git." Go on, Git.
On Git.
Yep. So yeah, this one is actually called CVS, Mercurial Subversion. I don't know what this thing is, but that's, you got the little merge, that sort of thing. So yeah, I found some version of Git, or like some offshoot of it, to use in the production of this show. And this was in, oh my God, when was it? Yeah,
it's called Trello, right?
What's that? Trello?
Trello, it was the one.
Trello, Trello. Yep. But the really cool thing about it is that it did not matter what kind of file you put in it. It would figure out something that's called the delta. And if you've done any studying of compression algorithms for static images like JPEG, or any of the MPEG compression algorithms for video, that's part of what it does. Is it looks at all of the pixels in the 720 by 480 or whatever, 1920 by 1080 video, and it compares one frame, whatever. There's a number of ways you can do it, but the easiest way to explain it is you compare like frame 10 to frame 11, and you look at what's different, and then that's what you render out. That's what you save. You save the delta. Delta is like a mathematical shorthand for difference.
Is that like the HDR settings on like iPhone cameras? Is that like what they're doing?
HDR is high dynamic range, and
okay.
Okay. A high dynamic range, it will take like 5 different exposure types and then use math to combine it together and have it look really, really lifelike. But yeah, it's a means of compositing of a super realistic image. That's what HDR is.
Okay.
Okay, so what we would do, we were working in Maya, Alias Wavefront Maya, and we'd save a scene, and then somebody would make a change to that, and it would save the delta, and then somebody else would come in and change something else, right? So depending on where, like, you'll always see these like trees represented, because I mean that's the whole thing about what you need a Git or CVS or a content management system for, is you start with this one and this is the main path, but then you might fork it. So any changes that are made here are not made here, so they won't be reflected in this one, and any changes that are made here won't be reflected here. However, if you have a CVS or Git or anything like that, it will retain that. So whenever you need to take these two different things, so long as, like say, Josh, this is, well, here, we'll do this. We're gonna use this as an example. So
Okay.
if we're working on the clubhouse and I'm working on the A-frame and I've given you, Josh, the task to work on the ladder, and Cheddar, you're working on the trees, and 13, I see you in here, you're working on the grass, and you're also working on the video screen in the background, right? Those are all assets in here that need to be tracked. So what you can do is you can, I'm just going to go back to this because it's a nice image. So Josh, you're working on the ladder, and I'm working on the A-frame. And then if we had like another branch off of here, that would be Cheddar in the trees, and another one going off this way, that would be 13, and the video screen. You do what's called a commit, right? You want to commit a change. So what it does is it takes that delta, it takes the difference in the file, and it only adds the thing that you changed. So it knows how to put our different pieces together, which I think is so cool. And I don't know how it does it, but I know that it does it. But it's kind of like,
I would like to see this.
yeah. So before I came up with this solution and we started using this, which was at the end of production, unfortunately, honest to God, hand to God, the solution that we came up with, where is it? Okay, I can't find it, but I'll use this horse, this origami horse, as an example. We had some people that were like talking about Lord of the Flies and the conch shell. And does anybody know Lord of the Flies? You guys read it?
I mean, a long
Okay.
No, but yeah.
So whoever had the conch shell was the one who could talk. It's like the talking stick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my mom gave me this just awful. That's why I don't have it. It's at the production company. They like still have it there. It's this snowman, you know, like the Tickle Me Elmo, that would like stand there and he would laugh or whatever. It was like that, but it was a snowman, and it was motion activated, and you'd walk past it, and the snowman was made out of this rubbery material, and it would like bounce around and sing Jingle Bells or some shit like that. So the only person who could edit a file had to have the conch shell. So just like in Lord of the Flies, the only person who was allowed to talk, you had to have the conch shell. If you did not have the conch shell, you could not edit a scene, because we needed to make sure that somebody didn't take the scene and fuck with something and then have Terry Steger come in, who is our rigger, and, you know, update the rigging system and then lose 8 hours worth of animation, right? Anyway, oh my gosh, bringing back so many memories. So that's how we did it, right? And the problem with that is that people would forget to take the conch shell. And I remember people like running into somebody else's office and just aggressively grabbing that rubber dancing snowman and, you know, yoinking it, yeeting it off of somebody's desk and then slamming it down on their desk because they like forgot. And it could have totally fucked up the production environment. Okay. So
Sacred.
yeah, it was. Oh my God, it was like religion in that place, because, you know, I'd spend 12, 14-hour days there sometimes just trying to get shit done.
Remember, I don't know if you remember, but a while back, I think they're talking about doing something like that at True Band Room with like a joint, where there's like a joint that can be passed around on parcel, and like if you have the joint, it allows you to like.
That's the token. That was my idea.
The token, yeah, exactly.
The token. You couldn't get a Pope if you didn't have the joint.
That's right. It was, yep. Okay.
And you'd have to pass the joint to get the. It was a way to battle bots, right? And the only way that I would give it to you is if I knew that I knew who you were.
Humanity.
Yeah.
Humanity.
A humanity.
Yeah. The token. That's hilarious.
Manatee.
That seems like similar in concept, in a way. as
Yeah,
far
I
as like that.
still want to do that, right? It's like this is why I need my Gantt, so I can get the token project set up. Okay, so what we would do is we'd have like the
We
keys to
sorry.
different parts of the scene. We should actually just do this, Josh. We should just do this, and we should use a scene that we're all going to work towards as a test case, right? And make it be something really simple, like like this, like I don't know. We could deploy it. We could deploy it anywhere to any of our worlds. It would be a good exercise. I think it's nice to talk about things in concept, but to actually do something, but to make it so that it's like it'll take like 30 minutes of your time to model a thing and then commit
Something.
the change, right?
Yeah.
So we want the learning to be not in how do we build all these things and stick them together. It needs to be something like a kitchen scene. So somebody does the table, somebody does the chair, and then somebody does the teapot that's on the top, and somebody does the meal or whatever. Okay, so we'll come back to that.
All right.
So when you have your asset, you basically commit it to the repository, and then it has to go through what's called a resolution. It has to be resolved, and then I'm probably not using the terminology correctly because it's a little fuzzy in my head because I've been away from this space for a long time, and it's all changed, right? Like they don't even call it CVS anymore. So you have basically like a set of keys, and then you check out a bit of code, or you check out a scene, you check out an asset, you make changes to it, and then you turn it back in. And you're the only person that can turn it back in because you're the one with the keys that can access that box in the chest, that contains everything in the scene. And then I, as the project manager or the animation director or the, tech person, would then go out and grab the latest version of your tree, Cheddar. And what were you designing, Josh? I forgot. The ladder.
The ladder, yeah.
Yeah, get your latest ladder, get 13's latest video screen, get my latest A-frame. And a lot of, it's just done with code, right? Because if it's checked out, and I know you're working on it, if it's checked in and a change hasn't been committed, then I know you're still working on it, but you're not working on it currently. So when you have asynchronous teams working on things like all over the world, it can take care of those problems in communication because it uses logic and this software to force people to conform to a protocol. And if you have to follow the protocol. Like I can't get the A-frame and work on it if I don't check it out with my keys. So what will happen is if I'm working on the A-frame and I'm updating it, and we needed to do, they used to be called rushes or dailies, and it's when you would draw on things, and you would take every bit of artwork and you'd make a really quick, like you'd rush through it, animation test, and you do it on like when you would develop film, 16mm film, you would do a negative and then you make a print from that. But a daily is on stuff that is, it would go straight to a positive, right? A photo positive instead of a photo negative. So it would look crappier, but it was good enough to be able to tell the different motion. So anyway, you take everybody's assets, you throw them together in a scene, and if you were working on a thing, you could look at the code and you could see, okay, this is last week's version of the A-frame. So there would be just a note that you'd have to make of that, because if I took the ladder and I rotated it, right, and here, let's just commit that to a change, and it's here, I'd be like, well, what the hell? Well, this is last week's ladder. The ladder that Josh is working on right now has a platform that goes out here because CK wants the ladder to be here and not coming up out of the floor. So when we're looking at the dailies, when we combine this to make an animation production, we're not seeing the platform, but everybody knows that that's okay because Josh is finishing this. So you may see like your animated character walk up the ladder, stand here where there's going to be a platform, and then walk into the scene. I'm like, well, why is that? Well, that's because there's supposed to be a platform there. That was part of the changes that everybody agreed to from last week's review. Anyway, so any questions? I've been talking for a long time.
Nope, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay. All right. Well, I've been doing enough talking. I think I've been talking for over an hour and 5 minutes. So, what do you guys have? Let's. I know Josh, you wanted to talk about nonlinear animation and the nodes, and
Yeah,
Cheddar, I'm guessing you would like to talk about your shoe. So, who would like to go first?
Cheddar, by all means. I would love to see this shoe. I saw the tweet, so I'm curious now.
Well, I mean, I haven't done anything more to it because, like I said last,
Doesn't matter. Bring it up.
I was helping my kiddo move, but let's see what I got going on here.
If you share your screen, I've got you up on the on
Jesus.
Discord.
13, what are you working on? What's up with you, dude? How are you?
To take my trash to the dump, but
Nice.
Honestly, this morning, I was gonna work on a little bit of web UI, make the site look a little prettier.
Nice.
And
what site would that be, 13?
That's all I really had on the docket. Might do some other stuff. Who knows?
Sweet.
I just got called into work, so I probably only have like a few minutes left. But let me.
Damn.
No, that's actually good. I need the money like really bad, and they're actually having me work as a bartender for a private event, so that's even better.
Tips.
It's really, really good.
I'm gonna run some.
Get
stuff
what you wish
dump,
for.
and I'll be back in a bit.
Okay, see you 13.
I'm in here and Nike Air Force, and then the fourth one. So.
Are you versioning your
Okay,
files?
I'm opening this up now. I was reading about.
See you 13. Sorry, I've been talking to you guys and I'm like, fuck, I'm on mute.
I'll be back here in probably about 30 minutes or so. See what y'all are doing.
Okay. See you a bit.
All right. See you later. Bye. I was reading about how to deploy scenes to my world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the wormhole that I was going down just a second ago. Let's see if I can share my screen here.
Because didn't you and I get your scene deployed to your world? I seem to remember that we worked together on that. Is this something else?
No, we never worked on a scene. But I did. I was going through the Dingia builds that he put out for the community, just so that I could nav a quick, file that's already done, right? So then I can, practice with that instead of building my own, because that's gonna take a minute. So I'm gonna start with something that's already created and practice how to actually deploy it and maybe walking around in it in my own world.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait
Because
to
I
see
have
it
a name. I have
of
names.
the
I
AI
can't.
image.
Oh, right.
That cheese house, that thing is so cool.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know, right? Like that's gonna be
Cheddar
my first,
Casa,
and I know it's difficult,
Queso Casa.
but yeah,
Queso Casa.
I'm not.
Casa.
It's not coming up for me,
it's not
Cheddar. You're.
right. That's why it says Discord is sharing a window. Stream is still running. We are paused. This preview, okay.
Do you see it, Josh?
It's
Close
just
some
black
other
with a little
tabs.
blue loading square.
Yeah,
Keep
that's what I
things.
got too. Well,
Let me
you
just
could.
see if I can share my whole screen because I'm right now I'm just sharing the Blender window.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe if I share the whole screen, it'll change.
Excuse me.
Change windows, entire screen. Share.
Hey, that works.
Okay, but now all you can see is Discord,
Your
huh?
browser window, yeah.
Right, because I have two screens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sharing this Discord screen, but I don't want it to share that. I want it to share my other one.
Can you drag Blender over into the screen? Or there?
I can, but I can't work in it because the screen is the TV screen.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so I'm trying to get it just to share just
There we
the
go.
Blender window. Oh, there we go. Okay, sweet. So this is where we left off. And then I made these top ones like nice and narrow.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like something.
Okay. So let's go back over some of the tools. I think for the profile, like this one right here, you could maybe even hide that particular reference image. Okay, not that one.
Maybe close
Not
up.
that one. keep those up.
That one.
Rear view. Well, you named the rear view. What's the side view? Which one's the side view? That one. No. So that's
This
top
is
view.
bottom.
Rename that top view.
And this is the side.
Okay, cool. So yeah, let's turn the side back. Yeah, let's turn the side off. Let's turn the other ones on. I guess was my recommendation. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And I really want to look at. Yeah, there you go. Because you've got those. You've got that geometry that's kind of winging out on the sides, right there, and we need to redistribute that geometry. So if you look at the, hold on a second, how do I hide, there we go. If you look at the tongue and the laces part of it, I mean, you get some reference of how the geometry is spread out and it draws in kind of like a fan, right? So that's what you want to do with that sharp part of your geometry up there. So I would say even select both of those points that are on the far extreme. Yep, that one. And the other one. Yep. And we're going to do a scale. But I suggest turning on proportional editing. So up at the top where you've got edit mode, view, select, whatever, if you can middle click on that and then drag it to the left.
It'll click on this.
No, where it says view, select, whatever. Yep, view. select, add, mesh,
Okay.
middle click there, and then drag it to the left. Okay. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So proportional editing is not the magnet, but the second one to the right. So you've got that's not it. The second one to the right. That's snapping. That's proportional editing. Turn that one on. Yep. Okay. Now, I think you clicked somewhere and you deselected your vertices. So go back and reselect your vertices.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And then hit S for scale. And then hit X. Now you'll scale it only in X. So go ahead.
Ooh. Okay. Interesting.
So by grabbing onto those, you're at the furthest extent. It's going to fit in everything. If you look in your right orthographic view, you see that big circle. Well, it's gone now, but that big circle is your circle of influence. Right. Yeah. So here, let me show you.
Okay, so that's where it affects everything that is okay.
Yes. Yep. So do you have a mouse or are you using your trackpad?
I have a mouse.
Okay, cool. So when you grab those points and you're in proportional editing, so you've already hit S for scale and X for the axis to limit it to.
Uh-huh.
If you use your scroll wheel at that point, it will increase or decrease the diameter of that circle of influence. So try it again. So hit S and then X to get your circle of influence. Okay, now use your middle mouse wheel. Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. Oh, maybe you have to hit Control and then the mouse wheel. Try that. So press and hold the Control button and then use your scroll wheel. Are you using your scroll wheel?
I'm doing that.
Okay. Just right click to cancel out of it. Did you send the shoe file in here in the chat?
I did, but I can send it again.
There's some really cool stuff in here. Jesus. I leave for like a couple of days and you guys have all kinds of cool shit in here. Okay, thank you. Let me put this in my FAFO folder. And go to Blender. Okay. Ooh, yeah. I'm probably not going to have these images. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Oh, and
Cheddar,
I can turn on some stuff.
If you want, I can show you like how like my model of my shoe. If you want to take some screenshots and like use it as reference, like just for some of the like basic like ways I like did the geometry of the shoe and the laces and stuff.
Okay.
Right, yes. I'm like just staring at it, trying to like grasp the concept, right, of a digital, three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the outer thing going on out here. I think I'll make some like that at one point. Because that's kind of how we used to wear our shoes, right? We would tie them very loosely, and then you'd have your tongue sticking out the middle here, and all this would be wide open, especially your high tops, or like your combat boots, right? You used to wear like the combat boots, and those would be like kind of half right, and stuff your pants in them, and
Nice.
that was kind of the style, right? You never tie your boots all the way up.
Okay.
I raised my boots up.
So here's
For sure.
Here's the proportional editing. Just so you know, just for your reference, Cheddar, I've got this selected. It's the X-ray, which is kind of helpful because if you need to select vertices that are on the opposite side, you can do that through the shoe. So, but that's activated here. But for now, I'm going to turn X-ray off. Okay, so I'm going to hit S for scale, X for the axis. Yeah, so here, it's working on mine. I'm not hitting a hotkey. I'm just using my middle mouse wheel. It's a wheel that I'm scrolling in and out. So if I do this, you see how it's affecting a greater and greater space. Now if I scroll in, it affects
That's
a
awesome.
smaller space. Yeah. So if I want to scale this in and sort of localize where that's going to affect, that's how it takes a little bit of practice to get used to it, but you know, there you go. So oftentimes what I will do, Cheddar, is I will work in 3D, but I will limit my moves to 2 dimensions. So like I want these guys to be scaled in too. So I'll scale these in an X. It's helpful for me to visualize it in 3D instead of in an orthographic view. So anyway, that's, you know, grab these.
Interesting.
Maybe grab these. I'll go back and I'll turn X-ray on so I can see through the shoe. Scale in X. Let's increase the influence on that. And then turn X-ray off. Right? And if you're going to do the thing where the top of the shoe is splayed out, I would recommend getting some reference images. Okay. So you can monkey around with that. I know you got to get to work soon. I just wanted to cover one other thing. Have you done that's yes, I think you have. You've done extrusions?
Yes.
Okay. So if you come
where you like we could hit E and then do it. You can do it on the Y axis or depending on the axis, right? And then just push it out. Yep.
So Alt E, you'll have a little more control. So here I'm extruding along the normals. Now it looks just like I'm extruding it above this in the Z axis, but look over in my user perspective.
Right.
It might be even more obvious if I do it like this.
It's just going in like the general direction that it's going.
So here I've got these two faces, this one and this one. So if I do Alt E and I extrude along normals, now the normal is the perpendicular to the plane indicator, right? A normal is there and calculated so that the computer knows how to render it. If you look at the color of the shading here of this face versus this face, it's the same material, but the shading value and color is different because the normal is pointing in a different direction. So it uses that, and notice that it's the entire face, right? There's no gradient on it. It's an absolute color, but it's an absolute color calculated on the normal. So if I were to move around or move the object around, if I were to orbit the object, then those colors would change because here, if I turn on normals, you can see them pointing out in all different directions. The normal direction would change. So anyway, that's just another way to control your extrusion. Okay, so if I scale
awesome.
these guys. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to hit extrude. There we go.
You gotta toy around a little bit with that top part, but
So yeah, I mean that's just a really quick way to make a
huh.
face or like an edge, right? So all I did was I selected the faces, I scaled it down, and then once I did that, once I had a perimeter, then I hit Alt E to scale along normals, because if I were to go back and instead to, let's say, just hit extrude and extrude along the Z axis. Oh, what the hell? I need to change my not cursor, global. Okay. I was in a different kind of transform mode, so if I extrude along the Z axis, why isn't it doing that? Extrude. Okay. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time.
Okay, well, I gotta go to work, guys, but
Okay.
I will be back tonight, and then, whenever we'll pick this back up. Thank you so much.
Yep, absolutely.
See you
Cheddar.
guys.
Enjoy your day. See you later, Cheddar.
Okay, Josh. Let's see that whale.
Yeah, let me I should have just been doing this. But I'm gonna put together the like folder and just like send it so you can, if you want to open it up, you can.
Okay.
Just organize this real quick, because so I have the, hold on, new folder.
Oh, those are really cool shoes. You make those?
Yeah, this is my shoe wearable.
Oh, right. With your with the tattoo. Is that correct?
This one doesn't have a tattoo.
Oh, okay.
This one is just here.
Because I think I have a pair of your shoes. Yeah, those look familiar.
Yeah, the tattoo shoe is the same shoe model before I reworked the shoe model. So I still need to apply like this new shoe model to the tattoo one, but I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
But yeah, this is this one. This is the first wearable that I made.
Nice.
Remodeled.
Good
I guess
job.
I can do this. Thank you.
And I forget, is it 1,500 tries for shoes?
Yeah, for the feet category, it's 1,500.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, I don't know. I don't see anywhere. I haven't read anywhere that it says 1,500 is the limitation, but I know that whenever it mentions the 1,500 limitation in the upper body and the lower body, I can't remember where it is, but there's reference of the feet being included in that.
Yeah.
And I know that your boots are around 1,300 something. So I know it's higher than, you know what I mean, 1,000 or 5. I know it's higher than 500. That was pretty much the, you know. It's either
Mhm.
500 or it's 1500 for all the categories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems so. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's
So
right. I was organizing
there are the
this.
categories. Yeah. So it's 1500 because it's not an accessory. Um, and 5K for the skin. Yeah. Okay.
So it leads me to believe that yes,
1500. Okay.
1500. And then the one that the wearable that CK and I collabed on.
Mm-hmm.
Why won't this scroll when I bring them up? Oh, there it goes. Um, I think is even more. I think I went over the 1500 limit a little bit, like by like 50 or 60 or something. And so
What
it was
category?
just like,
It's in lower body, right?
no, it's in the feet category.
Oh, okay. And that's how you were able to put the tattoo on the leg. So
Mhm.
if you want to see the
Mhm.
tattoo, you have to wear shorts and you wear the shoes. Okay, that's really smart. Damn.
Yep.
And does it give you fingernails? Does it give you the nails?
Yeah, I put toenails on it
Okay, cool.
on the wearable itself, so they're like the same color scheme that like blues and turquoise.
So is it bare feet? I don't
Yeah.
know because like it
Hmm.
was the waves thing, right? That Saren bought, the one of one.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
or whatever. You
yeah.
made it a mythic,
The
but
yeah the
3 of 3.
the physical set the CK made
Mm-hmm.
is for sure a
One of one.
unique. It definitely holds that
Yeah.
true. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm slow.
No. Oh, jeez. Please do not apologize.
What else?
I tell my
Where?
kids,
Which
you
one
haven't done anything
is?
wrong. You don't need to apologize. And oftentimes, when you think about saying "I'm sorry," just say "thank you." It'll really fuck people up if you do that because they're expecting to hear "I'm sorry." Just say "thank you."
Thank you for being patient.
Yeah, there you
Odd
go.
job.
Yeah,
I
absolutely. My
appreciate it.
pleasure.
Which one is it? I think I saved two different files because I didn't know how to have multiple animations on one like
Mm-hmm.
one thing until recently. Kind of. Is this it?
Yeah, that looks like it's it. I see the you're in the mode where you're not gonna be able to see the textures. You got to click one over. Nope, other way.
This is it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I
Yeah.
think sometimes I feel like when you see, this is why I was putting all of the image textures in the file because
Hmm.
the material like the texture breaks some for some reason and I have to like
Go back in and find it.
yeah and reapply it. It's
Oh,
super weird.
that's
I
such
don't
a
know why
pain
it
in the
does that.
ass.
So whenever I've sent Blender files to people, they're like, "Oh, there's no textures," and I'm like, "Oh shit."
Well, no. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Go into your shader view. Yeah, right there. And then just hit the file. Or no, not even that. See the little picture on the left hand side where it says whatever something dot png. No, in the box.
This
Yeah. So to the left of that, there's that little picture with the down arrow. Click that, and then select the texture.
oh,
It's already there.
what's the texture called?
I don't know.
Blow spout.
Oh, it's not
Where
there.
is it?
Yeah, you'll have to look. Yeah, so click the open file folder next to the X. Yeah, there you go, and then just find it. Oh, because you moved it. It was
Oh,
it
you're
was
right.
linked, but now you put it in blowhole sequence. Yeah, there you go.
Oops.
I love how the animation on this looks so much like stop motion. There's a um, there's a Rankin and Bass special holiday special that has a whale, and it looks so much like it. I need to find it and show it to you.
Okay, sweet. It works now. Okay, Now that I know that, what is this?
Here it is. Big Ben from Rudolph's Shiny New Year. It's coming up. The whale. Come on. What's going on? Big Ben is a character introduced in the Rankin Bass television special Rudolph's Shiny New Year, named after the great bell of the same name in the Elizabeth Tower in London. Why don't I see a picture of it? Anyway. Proceed. I'll find it and show it to you later.
It just sniped Brandon in the chat. I went to drop this file to you in the chat, and I saw Brandon was typing. Hilarious. It's a claymation, and this bumped in my head.
Cool. Absolute shape keys. Cool.
Yo, if you like claymation, you should watch The Adventures of Mark Twain.
Yeah, so I've got a story. I actually applied for a job with Will Vinton Studios, and claymation is a trademark term from Will Vinton. He's the one that did the raisins, California raisins, and I'd wager he's the one that did the Mark Twain thing that you're talking about. Oh, that is so cute. That is just adorable.
I wonder where the oh, this one I didn't. This is the, so there was going to be multiple animations, so I figured this would be one of the, like, what would you call it? Like the idle animation before like anything is like happening.
Yeah.
So this is in that folder. This is Whale Dispenser 01. And then the other one in there is Whale Dispenser 02. Oh,
why'd you say don't save? Don't you want to
save it? I don't know,
save
but
it?
it just gave me an error. So
okay.
Let's try this
just
again.
do save as and save it as something
it's saved.
Else. Okay.
It's saved. I think we're good. Where is...
You may have to just do open. Yeah.
See, look, all the textures in this one are broke. That's so crazy. I'm gonna have to add the whale textures.
Did you move the textures from one directory to another for this one too?
I did with obviously the eyes and the blowhole.
Yeah,
but I didn't.
So you're gonna have to just go back and reestablish that. Yeah, and then it shouldn't break after this.
Wait, which one did I click on? Oh.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
What's
this one called? Oh, shit. I'm an idiot. Wait, what? Oh, this is the normal. What am I doing?
Is that your normal map?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Whale normals PNG. Yep.
Oh, that's not even What am I doing here? I forgot I baked it into... Yeah, it's this one. That's what I thought. The hell? Okay, so I need to put that in here. To trash. Oh, you can't select multiple in here. That's okay. Oh. Oh. Which one is it? I wonder if they're the same.
Whale final color, yeah.
What is going on? Why is it taking so long to load?
Well, it looked like there was a cloud icon. Is it up in the cloud? Is it iCloud Drive?
Yeah, but it's only on this folder for some reason. But it looks like they're all. It does that when it's like anytime I switch to a different file, like you know what I mean? Any kind of file shuffling of any sort, it'll like do that. But then once it's fully loaded, it'll go away. It's like sometimes it won't open on the other side if it's like not done. But we're gonna just try it anyways. See how it disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
So I want the second one, not the first one that you put in there, yeah?
The second one, yeah.
Okay.
CBD well dispenser 02. So the second one has the animation for both, like everything, the bones, the eyes, and the blow spout.
Okay. I really want to show you this.
But the blow spout animation isn't working.
Yeah.
Of course. What did I do?
We're halfway done with Ranky Bash Month, and up next is Rudolph's Shiny New Year. Of course, it was a way to capitalize, more or less, on the success of the original that was released 12 years prior.
Where's Big Ben?
Oh, it looked pretty bad for Rudolph. He was on his way through the icy fog to the archipelago of last year's, searching for Happy, the baby New Year. When Eon the Terrible swooped down out of the sky.
Here we go. Here's the whale.
Oh, now, Rudy, don't you fret any about that overgrown chicken.
Oh, my gosh!
Oh, now, Rudy, don't you fret any about that overgrown.
Is this such a weird character? He's got a clock on his tail. I'm just looking for a part where he like blows water out of his blowhole. I think it's right here.
I won't let you find Happy before I do.
You're a bad bird, Eon.
Oh my god, this is so unwatchable.
Yes, even Eon.
Honestly, get like diving into 3D modeling and like this type of stuff, it makes it more impressive, even though like that is a classic. Like I've seen that on TV so many times throughout my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like every like Christmas season, it's on TV. And like I don't know, now looking at it again with fresh eyes of like what it takes to like actually create these assets and these things that do these things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's a lot of work. It's
Oh my
totally a
gosh,
lot of
yes.
work. Just the organization part that we've been talking about alone to be able to orchestrate a whole movie like that. You know what I mean?
Child gets swallowed by a horse.
But this is broken, so I have to redo it.
Okay.
But I kind of wanted to like show you how I like did this off of this video that I
Okay.
found.
Here we go. Go ahead.
I might have to watch the video again. It's like so touchy until you get to the end. I'm trying to think, how did I blow a spell? I probably have to get rid of this. Oops. Delete this. So to start, you hit Shift A, and then you go to texture and you put in an image sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is where the image sequence comes in. And then this image sequence is 14 frames, so I would change this 14 frames.
Mm-hmm. Do you have like a step, or does it just do one frame at a time? Like one
so
image per frame, or like, so yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So basically what it does is it like plots it out on the like timeline. To as you move this, it animates through the frames, but then you're just like kind of stuck with that animation. So in order to like create your own keyframing, you would go basically
you'd have to add frames, images for frames.
So you add this, and then that should like, so that puts in the frames in here, right?
Yeah.
And then from here you would go, how does it, I'm trying to remember. Let me just put this alpha on here since we're going to be working with alpha.
Yeah, why do you have to put the alpha way down there? Nobody uses all that other shit. Nobody plugs in anything to that. Put the alpha up at the top.
And I was using, see, some of these settings changed. I don't know if it happened whenever I dropped the new file in here. It just changed it to a single image instead of the image sequence. But originally this was set at alpha blend, and then the shadow mode was set on none. So then you, over this offset, you have to like right click it and add a driver, and you have to like edit this driver to like basically take it from being framed out in your timeline to creating like more of a permanent offset. So when you scroll, it doesn't change, but you can like use a value to like swap through it instead. And then after that, you have to, yeah. So you're like basically establish all these values in like this driver. So go back to edit driver. This needs to be changed to single property. This needs to be changed to scene. And then you're going to select scene here. And then the path is, damn, I'm forgetting.
I think I get what you're saying, and I'll watch the video. But it's like your other programs I've used have called these expressions, and it's a way for the animators and the modelers to create hooks or handles that the coders can then grab onto and access parts of your scene or your GLB or whatever file and control them by, like a puppeteer, like a marionette. So you you have to go through all of this rigmarole just so that you can access it via the code. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I really am interested in
So
this. So sorry, go ahead.
essentially you're gonna, with the last variable that you add as an expression, like there's like a math equation you have to put in here, like you can copy and paste it from the YouTube description.
Oh, it says expression right there. Holy shit. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that's part of the step. And then after that, you create a geometry node value that is set to your like the variables. So
And is it a
then you'll have a
blend value? Is
geometry
it like
node.
between 0 and 1, or is it
0 and however many, like, so this would be between 0 and
13?
14, or yeah, however many frames.
Yeah.
So as you slide it, it's changing through the frames, and then on that you have like the option to keyframe it.
Okay. And then you can keyframe. Basically, that's your NLA controller is your keyframe. So like, I want to trigger the spout animation now. I want to trigger the eye blink animation, and you would set keyframes for that. Oh, super cool. Oh,
Yeah.
this
So
is
then
amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool and potentially very useful. So I kind of like tried to dive into seeing how it works a bit.
Dive into it. Get it? With
Dive in. Yeah. Yeah. But I have to fix this because now it's not broken, or now it's broken for some reason.
Yeah.
So were you gonna say something though? Do you have to leave or something?
No, it's just I need to there's some stuff I gotta get to work on. And I'm hungry because it's lunchtime for me now. But are you gonna be hanging out in productivity? Because I'll come back. I'm gonna stop the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably jump out of here, but and just kind of put on some music maybe and work on getting this back to where it was.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah, if I see you jump back in here, I'll jump back in.
Okay. Cool. Thank you
pretty
so
sure
much, Josh. Yeah.
yeah.
We'll revisit this because what I was gonna say was I don't know. I've shared this with Madamus and whatever. I'll talk about it here. Giving Tree, I want to literally bring to life. I want to grow a tree in the metaverse. That's like one of the first goals that I had. This vision or whatever idea that I had, this dream that I had. This would make the growth of the tree possible. Like I could have the leaves uncoil and come out and get bigger, and that would just chef's kiss. That would make it so much more alive. And I'm guessing since it's an asset, I could do it once and I could instance it, and then it would be a pretty light scene, and all the leaves could like, I don't know, I could do like the leaves budding and unfurling.
That's what I was gonna say. If it's like a flowering tree, you could do like like the buds of like the flowers, like that process.
Or even just I could animate the grid or the plane that the leaf is on, like to give it just wind motion or whatever. But then I could animate the color, like the changing of the leaves, because like if it's a tree, it's gonna go through the seasons, right? So it's gonna be autumn, and then they're gonna fall off. So then I would need to have like no leaf there. Yeah, this is so many possibilities. This is exciting. Thank you for showing me this.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I'm trying to get more familiar with this this process of editing these drivers for this offset, because that's like the most complicated part of the whole thing. And if you could stomach the steps of going through that video, which I already know you can because I've seen you do it. It's definitely useful. Definitely useful.
Maybe ask ChatGPT. I mean, I saw this video yesterday of this guy that created his own the turbo cryptocurrency token. He made it entirely with the help of his fans and AI. Doesn't know anything about coding.
Wild.
Yeah. All right,
I actually
man.
think I did see something about that, but yeah,